Now, on Friday, Iran is going to have an election that is going to decide who their next president is. Now, of course, right now it is Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, and he is, well, he's a character, right? And he continues to be a character through the elections. He's giving rousing speeches. This was the last day that they could do public rallies, the day before the vote. By Iranian law, they're not allowed to do it. He organizes his guys. He comes out there and says, the opposition is lying. They're full of lies, of course, not surprising. And he says they're acting like Nazi propagandists, and that the opposition is acting like Joseph Goebbels. But wait a minute now. Is that, in Ahmadinejad's mind, a good thing or a bad thing? I thought the Holocaust didn't happen. So how could your opposition be the Nazis? And if they are they the good guys or the bad guys? I can't quite tell in your analogy. Anyway, it's been very active. And now you see some pictures here if you're watching on the YoungTurks.com. Here's how you can differentiate the two different sides. Ahmadinejad's side has as basically its banner the Iranian flag. Just like the right-wingers here in the United States, they claim that they are the real patriots and that they are the real people who believe in their religion, and that, of course, in this case, they're the real Muslims. I mean, as you see how this election is unfolding, it sounds like it's Ahmadinejad is a carbon copy of George Bush in Iran. And he's doing the same exact kind of slogans, the same campaign themes, etc. And just like Bush, he's left a terrible economic mess. In fact, this week, he had to admit that he was lying about the economy. He said that the inflation was only 15%, but they had already put out numbers saying, hey, you know what? No, inflation is actually 25%. And since the numbers were irrefutable and put out by the Iranian government itself, he had to come out on Tuesday and say, yeah, my bad. I guess what I was saying was not exactly right. Inflation is 25%. And that is the main issue, just like it was here in the U.S. In Iran, the main issue is Ahmadinejad has botched the economy, and that is hurting him in the polls. Now, there's not a lot of polls that you can really say, okay, are definitive in Iran, but the latest poll does have his opponent, Hosseini Mousavi, up 54-39. So by all rights, he is likely to win. His opponent is likely to win. Now that's going to get into our second issue here. By the way, the Mousavi guys are the ones dressed in all green. Their banner is green, which I think is clever because, of course, green is the color of Islam. And so they've taken on the color of Islam, saying, hey, you're no more Muslim than we are. Don't they sound like the Democrats? I mean, and Obama, right? It makes sense. His supporters are also rallying, and they're actually larger crowds, much larger crowds. They're chanting, I believe it's Ahmadi bye-bye. They're taking a twist of Ahmadinejad's name and adding bye-bye to it, saying we're going to get rid of you. And they say, hey, look, if we lose the elections, then you got to wonder, since the polls are so on their side at this point, you know, if there was some shenanigans in the voting. Today, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard comes out and says, hey, look, there won't be any kind of velvet revolution here, as that happened in some of the former Soviet republics. Whatever the vote is, it is. Whatever we announce it is, it is. And if you try to dispute the vote, we will crush you. So that is not a good sign. So we'll have to see who wins and then who's declared the winner, which might be two different things. But right now, huge momentum for Mousavi and the moderates in Iran. And by the way, another funny analogy here to the U.S., Ahmadinejad also had his macaca moment, a moment caught on tape where he looked like a clown. He said when he went to speak in front of the United Nations that there was a light around him, as if he's a holy figure. Now, even in Iran, that sounds ridiculous. So and one other additional touch, which reminds me of Kim Jong-il in North Korea. He said the whole time I was speaking, they were transfixed to what I was saying. For 27 to 28 minutes, no one in the UN blinked. Which, of course, is impossible and ridiculous. So now, since these two statements are so ridiculous, Ahmadinejad came out and said, oh, no, I never said them. The only problem is it was on tape. So they played the tape. I don't know if it's on YouTube yet. They played the tape of Ahmadinejad saying, you know, no one blinked for 27 minutes and there was a light around me. So He looks like a clown. He is if it walks like a clown, talks like a clown, it's probably a clown. So Mousavi stands a good chance of winning that election. And obviously the reason why I'm spending so much time on it and why it's so important is if Iran goes in a moderate direction, we're far more likely to have fruitful, productive negotiations with them where both Iran and the United States and eventually all of the Middle East will be in better shape. If Ahmedinejad wins, of course, the radicals will be, and the far right of Iran will be more emboldened, and they will take a more unreasonable position, presumably, in the negotiations. We might not get a deal, and then we might have a confrontation. And that confrontation is not going to help anyone. So, for all the reasonable people in the world, we have to be rooting for Mousavi. Doesn't mean he's going to be the savior. It doesn't mean there's going to be a light around him and that nobody's going to blink while looking at him. But it does mean we stand a little bit better chance in that direction. So at least I'm telling you, I'm certainly hoping that that's the way it goes. We'll find out on Friday.